Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Race Girls Collective podcast. Today, we are joined by Harry and Tom from Silverstone Revolution Racing. So, do you guys want to introduce yourselves and just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'll just start off. I'm Tom. I'm the graphic designer. I'm the third trio of Toms in the team. Somehow I've managed up with three Toms. I'm the graphic designer. I manage all the visual identity for the team. So any graphics that need to be made, any visuals for our pit display, designing our portfolios, all sorts of marketing materials. That's what I manage and hand them over to Amy to let her post them on social media or whatever. And then Harry, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Harry. I'm design engineer, and I design anything to do with a car, whether it's small components, big components, from CNCing the body, operating software, CFD software to analyze the car, etc., etc.
So, how do your roles overlap and how do you work together?
Yeah,
Um, Tom, do you want to take that?
yeah, I can take that. So I guess being graphic designer and design engineer, we're not too involved with each other, but definitely I need a car to work with to make visuals. So uh, any sort of rendering or elements that I can use in design, I'm helping Harry with. And I think in the team, we all sort of help out a little bit. So maybe if Harry just needs a second opinion or anything, we're all there just to give our opinion, basically.
Yeah. And how did you two both get into your roles?
So I kind of always knew I wanted to be a design engineer from probably quite a young age. And then I didn't even know anything about F1 in schools. And then all of a sudden we had this announcement come up in our classroom, and it was quite interesting. So I sort of jumped at the opportunity and was lucky enough to get in, and just sort of got paired with a team that obviously we're very close with now, and very fortunate to be with.
Yeah, similar sort of story with me. When we all joined at the start, it was sort of it looked like a good opportunity to, progress our skills. I was sort of interested in photography. I'd started a bit of graphic design, web design. So and just to build those team working skills. So I just joined, applied, and got in. And yeah, it's great to be part of the team.
And what's been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
I think just to see how far the team's gone and sort of what skills we've learned. We've all come so far in such a short space of time. I think those first 5 months where we're sort of going from absolute nothing to our first regionals competition, just having that crunch really made us progress very quickly. So seeing where all of our skills have come and where how far the team's come as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I look back at some of my old car models, and I'm not gonna lie, I opened one the other day and I sort of laughed. So it's quite funny to see how far you started with, and now you're at the point where you're laughing at your old self. It's just it sounds awful, but it's actually quite rewarding.
The roles that you currently have, how would you say that they would impact your future?
I'd probably say it's an opportunity in a sort of smaller, lower pressure environment. It's still high pressure, but it's not as high as you would be in a real Formula One team. Whereas you can take these experiences and you can take these setbacks that you've had, and you can make sure that you don't have them in your professional role if I go on to be a design engineer.
Yeah, and I think really learning the transferable skills of being in a team and working with people. Everyone's really good at what they do, so sort of working in that sort of dynamic, and also the skills we've learned that we can take forward definitely help.
And what are your future goals in maybe 5 years?
I'll
I'll let
take
you
that
go.
one. So, yeah, I'm not too sure of where I want to go. I'm sort of split between. the graphic design with the team and sort of web design. I study computer science, maths, and engineering, so it depends whether I want to sort of go down that engineering field or that more computer science field. So really, I don't know where I'll be in 5 years. I'm looking forward to it, to where life takes me, really. Just jump at all the opportunities I can, like being in this team and learning everything I can.
I'd probably say the same sort of thing as Tom, just jumping at every opportunity I can, but I'm not really sure. I sort of am. I mean, I like aerospace and I like defense. I like it because it's pushing the boundary. Whereas if you go to Formula One, you're held a lot back by regulations. But if you go into something like aerospace, you go into something like defense, you're constantly working at the boundary of what's possible, and that's what excites me.
Um, what is one thing that you wish that more people in your team or around you who know what you do understand about your roles?
I'd probably say I think it sort of has to be. It's the idea that it's constantly changing and you can never sort of sit on one idea. Whereas a lot of people sort of think that when you're a design engineer, oh, you can just keep developing the same thing over and over again. A lot of the time, a lot of the stuff you come up with can be okay, but because it's so far off track of what's good, you just have to scrap the idea entirely and head back onto a new path, which is very, very tricky. A lot of people think you can just sort of develop an idea until it's good, but that idea sometimes has a boundary on it.
Yeah, and I don't have too much to add to that. I think as a team, we understand each other most of the time, and yeah, it's really just going along with it all.
And what's one piece of advice that you'd give to someone wanting to go into either graphic design or design engineering?
Yeah, if I start off with this, I mean, I don't think it's necessary to have those skills. You might think that being a graphic designer, you'd need to know how to use Illustrator, how to use Photoshop. Obviously, you need that base understanding, but I think joining F1 in schools or having a project, that's what really pushes you to learn the skills sort of on the fly. And I think that keeps you passionate about it. That keeps you on to come back to progress. Otherwise, you're sort of not as passionate to learn.
I completely agree with what Tom said. It's just a lot of people sometimes have that burning passion to keep pushing your skill set forward, but obviously life's going to get in the way. You've got constantly have things that hold you back. But if you have a project pushing behind you, and sometimes you have people relying on you, that's what pushes you to further develop and go and go and go. So if you're looking to be a design engineer or a graphic designer, don't worry about the skill set you have now, and if that applies, just know what do you want to have, and if you know that, then you can jump at it.
Yeah.
I know that it probably feels like we're like questioning back to back, like straight away. Um, but what would you say got you into motorsports?
It was for this is an interesting question, which I don't properly know myself because I was too young to remember realistically. But it was straight into it was just the sound and the excitement for me. You can't quite pinpoint what it was, but motorsport in a way, it's just the sound, the excitement, the competition, and everybody pushing to the limit. That's what I love about motorsport, and it's something that just makes it special in a way.
Hmm. And I find it motorsport interesting because you do have the sides of the more engineering side and then the more marketing and graphics. It's sort of strange because I've grown up near Silverstone. My dad's a classic race engine builder, so I've sort of grown up around motorsport, but I just haven't been super interested in it. I think the team's sort of split a little bit like that. But it's still interesting. It's just not not my main passion, I'd say.
Do you guys have like a dream team that you'd love to be a part of? Except, Silverstone Revolution Racing.
I'd probably go to start with, obviously. you have that childhood team and everything, but you sort of there's the idea of I want to end up my favorite team's Ferrari, so I probably like to end up at the end of my career at Ferrari, but I don't think it's not something at the start of the career. I'd like to build my way there. I want to earn my way there. I don't just want to end up there. So I'd like to start a team like Williams or Aston Martin would probably be a good starting point for me, and then Ferrari at the end of the career if I were to pick, but nobody gets to. It just depends how fate goes.
Yeah, Ferrari's a
I
good
mean,
choice.
Thank you.
I think any F1 team's a great opportunity to push your skills, but me personally, I don't really have a clear path in mind, so I'm not too decisive on what I'd pick.
Yeah. And could you just walk us through a typical week just working on your project? Just like what you
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So it's a little bit quieter, sort of the off season at the minute, if you want to call it that. Sort of it. Most of it is planning, prepping, getting ready for the competition, planning some exciting projects and events that we have coming up. But in competition, you know, it's meetings 5 times a week. It's getting up super early to work on portfolios. Meeting all the time to get stuff done. But I think generally it's about three meetings a week. Lots of teamwork and just messages here and there, making sure everything's up to date and getting posts out and stuff like that. I don't know if it's a bit different for Harry because he's making the car at the minute, so it's a bit more full on. But yeah, we're all working on projects at the minute that will help us for our regional competition next year.
Who
But
would,
yeah, for me it's
sorry,
sort of a bit different. No, it's all right,
no,
sorry.
it's okay, you go.
But for me it's a bit different. So the car develops the most in its off season. It doesn't really have the time off. It's in the time off when my job then gets handed over to Thomas and he has to build the thing that I've been working on for a few months. So it's not so easy. That's when Thomas is at full crunch time. It's sort of when design and manufacturing cross over you're both at full crunch in opposite positions, so it's such a weird time frame to work with. But a week around now for me is just sort of slowly developing the car, coming up with ideas in the back of my brain, and then when I sit down at a piece of paper, trying to get everything out. And because your brain works in the background when you're not sort of, if you hyperfixate, you'll never come up with anything.
Um, who would you-
Sorry. What do you guys think was the most challenging thing that you've done with F1 in schools?
I think it's sort of the responsibility of having some huge companies behind you and really wanting to represent them well, such as Silverstone or the LA Town Planning. It's one thing just doing F1 in the schools, but when you have those companies that you're representing, everything has to be of a high standard. That you know you want to represent them well, and obviously fill your end of the contract, provide some ROI for them as well, not just our team.
It's a bit different for me and Thomas, because Thomas has to work with trying to bring something back for the brand. But I'd probably say my my biggest challenge would probably just be trying to get that car up as high on the leaderboard as possible. And it's literally sounds like that is your entire job, but it is the biggest challenge in ever because you just no, I shouldn't say ever. It is the biggest challenge for me personally because it's just looking at that CFD software and just going, right, so if that piece of airflow goes around there, can I not bring it a tiny bit further in here, or what can I do with the car, etc. It's such a mental exercise to just try and keep developing the car further and further and further. So it's really tricky.
Yeah. And out of everything you've done so far in just your career, what are you most proud of?
I think just
This
getting to
our
nationals is
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Tom. I'd probably say it's just getting to nationals in the first place. It's what we set out to do. It was the aim of the game from the project at the start, and it was go straight, go to nationals. After that, stuff still matters. We'll do what we can at nationals, but once we go to nationals, a bit of the pressure was taken off, and I think it was just the main objective. So I think we're really proud that we were able to accomplish that.
Um, who would you say is your biggest inspiration in motorsport?
Or just working in general?
I'd probably go. Sounds really textbook, but I'd probably say Adrian Newey. I'm also about three-quarters halfway, I think halfway through his book now. And the experiences he's had that I've read about have just been absolutely incredible. And to try and hopefully rectify just a little bit of that in my career would be a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and I can't pinpoint any names, but just anyone I look up to in the sort of business or design space that sort of inspire you to, you know, think big and achieve like big goals and stuff.
Yeah. What's something you've learned from this experience that you wouldn't have expected when you first started?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's because we've learned so much, it's sort of hard to pick an exact thing. But I think how well the team has worked together, and our ability to get stuff ready for the competition. Yeah, I can't think of anything super precise, but that sort of area.
Yeah, I think it's fairly sort of specialized skills that are isolated to F1 in schools. You can't really there are cross transferable skills, but like timing and etc. And just I think we know a lot more about logistics than we ever thought we would. So that's probably a massive thing. But yeah, all these things are cross transferable, but to we'll be mentoring year 11 teams and stuff like that next year, and we're really excited to pass that knowledge on because it's such coming into F1 in schools as an outsider, you have no idea what you're getting into realistically. You have an idea in your head, but unless somebody who's been at the competitions, who's experienced it, can tell you exactly what it's like, you'll be blown out of the water by the time you get to your first regionals.
How do you all manage working as a team, especially with deadlines and big goals?
I think, yeah,
So
having deadlines in the first place, that means you've got an end goal in mind. But I think we all just managed to work together, meeting up enough times to sort of discuss everything, bounce ideas off each other is really important to have our own areas of work be as productive as possible. Hmm.
yeah, I agree. Just having the deadlines in the first place is a big thing, but it's also about sort of planning your time slots. It's like something as simple as when you're in sixth form, you're going to have a load of frees stacked out, and so you can waste them away, or you can plan them out. Okay, I'm going to work on the front wing in this hour, or I'm going to work on the rear wing in this hour, or something's not quite up to spec. I want to change it. I want to adjust it. If you plan your frees and you set yourself little timers, it pushes your brain to try and keep going forward, and that's transferable with studying. It's transferable with anything. If you have a timer and you have a deadline set and you go, this is the only time this week that I'm going to be able to do that, you will be driven to do it.
What's been your favorite memory or funniest moment during this journey?
I'd say being interviewed by Radzi was pretty cool. Nationals. You got anything funny, Harry?
It's not too. I mean, it's just cool, but I just sort of coming back from Silverstone, sort of everybody knowing you a bit more because apparently it was in every screen at school, the live stream. So that was
Oh yeah.
quite yeah, that was interesting to come back to, and everybody goes, and everybody all of a sudden recognizes you. It was quite interesting.
So you both watch Formula One, right?
Harry does. I'm not. Do you, Harry? Yeah.
Not too much. I prefer endurance and GT. I'm not a big Formula One fan, not specifically.
Oh.
And I dip in and out, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm sorry, guys.
You can try me with a question if you insist.
Who's your favorite driver?
Oh, this is an important.
Uh, I have pressure. Um, it has to be Charles Leclerc. It was since 2017 in Formula Two, so
This
has to
is a
stand till
reminder.
now.
Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, that's definitely the best choice, honestly. Um, what's one thing that you think makes your team stand out from the others?
I mean, obviously being from Silverstone, it's such an iconic circuit. To be the only people in the UK to represent them is quite unique. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was also just our brand identity in general because I mean, for example, there were stories about when obviously when AI sort of went big, everybody else sort of just used it, and then there was a story of a load of people turning up at an F1 in schools event with, you know, multiple of the same logos and stuff like that. It was because people use it as their brand identity, but you know, Tom's done a great job of designing our logo and our brand identity, so we haven't had that problem. And you know, our shirts stand out. White isn't a commonly used color; it's mainly red and orange and stuff like that. So we stand out ahead of the crowd, and it's what led to, you know, winning pit display awards and stuff like that. You know, we stand out compared to most people who have quite dark and dim pit displays. Ours was really bright and blinding, which I thought was really good.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really just making sure we're as unique and as professional as possible. That's one of our goals, that just to have everything as a high standard as possible.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about working in Silverstone Revolution Racing?
Do you want to add a
Silence.
bit, Harry? I'll share my thoughts after.
Uh, I think it's working with sponsors. We have a really good array of sponsors, in actual fact. So, you know, Silverstone have done a lot for us, and we've got things that are planned coming up with them soon. And
Is
DLA are also have a lot of connections in the business world, and they've offered them to us and stuff like that. So we've been able to speak with people from industry, Newport CNC. I mean, they've done stuff for Lotus sports cars and stuff like that. So just to be taken seriously by them is a real pleasure for us.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think working in a team, having everyone push you forwards and pushing each other forwards, that's my favorite bit. Just working on something that's bigger than any one person, really helps you grow.
Yeah.
um as we wrap it up, do you have any sort of words of wisdom or like advice for younger people? Sorry.
Oh.
Big question. Yeah.
Or just some random words would work.
Enjoy the butterfly.
Probably just go and do whatever the hell you want, because no matter what anybody says about anything or whatever the hell, just go and push yourself as well. Don't sit in a comfort zone, because however long you want to sit in that comfort zone or however long you hold back, that's time you're losing. You just
Yeah.
go and push. And even if people sort of think you're too young and you think you don't think you're going to be taken seriously, just go for it, because the worst anybody can ever say is no. So just go push. They might say yes, and you might get an incredible opportunity.
I'm gonna put that on a
Yeah.
poster.
Yeah. Passion and stick with it, I think.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for being on the podcast and good luck for your next season, all of your next races. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.